Rightio, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Smudgy Gnu channel. And today, we're going to be rating the 2021-22 Premier League transfer window. Okay, so the first team in is Liverpool, and they have signed Ibrahima Konate from Leipzig. Now, that is a decent signing for Liverpool. It provides great backup for Virgil van Dijk and Gomez in case they get injured, and it'll be good for Liverpool with their squad depth in the centre back area. But one signing for Liverpool, they're putting a lot of faith in their first team, and I do like that. But I think they've had probably an average transfer window. They've lost the likes of Gini Wijnaldum, Xherdan Shaqiri, but yeah, I think average for Liverpool. Now Chelsea have potentially signed an absolute game changer in Romelu Lukaku. He is an absolute beast. He's insane. I cannot believe that they have signed him personally. I look forward to watching him back in the Prem. He has potential to be top goal scorer this year, and he is a quality player, and that's why with him alone I'm putting Chelsea in quality, because Crystal Palace have had a pretty decent window in my opinion. The main signings being Michael Olise from Reading. He looks like a young talent. Conor Gallagher from Chelsea on loan. He's hit the ground running with 2 goals in one game. And Odsonne Edouard from Celtic, who looks to be a real threat up top, with 18 goals and 4 assists last season in the Scottish Premiership. And for those reasons, I'm going to put Crystal Palace in decent. Now moving on to Leicester City, Patson Daka looks to challenge Vardy and Iheanacho for the striker position, while Yannick Vestergaard proves to be a quality signing in defence. And as well as that, on loan from RB Leipzig, Adoma Lookman looks to provide a bit of spark up front on the wings. And overall, I think Leicester have had a pretty decent window. In the mud, Burnley are in the mud. Na 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 na. Yeah, Burnley are in the mud. They are going to get relegated this year, in my opinion. They have signed Cornet from Lyon, but I don't think it's going to be a real game changer. And yeah, Burnley are in the mud. Arsenal have had a shocking start to the season, losing their opening 3 games, placing them in 20th position. At the moment, if the Premier League ended now, they would be relegated. They have also spent a record 142 million, which makes it even more embarrassing. You'd think 142 million. Who would they spend that on? Maybe they'd bring in some quality players to booster and bolster their squad. No, they've brought in Ben White, Martin Odegaard, Aaron Ramsdale. I'm sorry, but Ben White is not worth 50 million. That is a rip-off. Yes, I understand Arsenal are buying for the future, and that's all well and good in that, but at the moment, they are in trouble. I am liking Lokonga and Tomiyasu. I think those two could potentially be Arsenal's saving grace, but at the moment, I'm going to have to put them in average. Sorry, Arsenal fans, but it is what it is. Manchester City have signed Jackie Boy Grealish for 100 million, a British record transfer fee. I don't understand why. I don't think City need them personally. I understand why Jack has gone to City, and I'll get on that when I talk about Aston Villa, but I don't understand why City needed a Grealish. In my opinion, City's team is already stacked. They already have plenty of wingers. They have plenty of versatility. I didn't think they needed another one. And to spend 100 million on him, wow, that is something. Yeah, they haven't done much business other than that. They don't really need to, because they have probably the best team in the league. yeah, and that's all I've got to say. I think, in simple terms, Everton have had a pretty average transfer window. They've signed players such as Andros Townsend, who's a proven Premier League player, Asmir Begovic from Bournemouth, and Damari Gray from Leverkusen, just to name a few. Gray looks good. He's scored 2 in his last 2 games, and he looks a real threat for them. I think he can be a turning point in Everton for their season. But apart from that, I think it's an average window for them. Harry Kane is staying for Tottenham Hotspur, and all you Spurs fans will be happy about that. As well as that, I think Spurs have had a pretty decent window. They've signed Brian Gill from Sevilla, Christian Romero from Atlanta, Pape Sarr from Metz, and Emerson Royale from Barcelona. Romero being the Serie A Defender of the Year, I think that's a great signing, and I think that's going to boost Tottenham's defence, and they could be a real threat going forward in the Prem. I think they'll do well this season, and I'll put them in decent. Moving on to Wolverhampton Wanderers, they have signed Ryan Aït-Nouri on a permanent, and also new signing Jose Sarr looks to replace Rio Patricio. I think Sarr's a good signing. He's made some pretty crucial saves in the opening 3 matches, and I am getting him in my FPL team. But other than that, I think Wolves, just a pretty average window in my opinion. And one of the main headlines of the transfer window was Jackie Boy Grealish leaving Aston Villa to Manchester City for a British record transfer. Now, even though Aston Villa lost their main man, Jackie Boy Grealish, they have replaced him with 3 players, that being Emi Buendia from Norwich, Danny Ings from Southampton, and Leon Bailey from Bayer Leverkusen. And in my opinion, they have won the transfer window purely because they have finessed Man City into spending 100 mil on a player who scored 6 goals and got 10 assists last season. Now, I understand that Grealish is a top player, and I can see why Man City wanted him. But 100 mil is insane for a player who just does the one thing. He cuts inside and then plays a through ball to the left back, who overlaps and then whips in a cross. But yeah, personally, I feel Villa have invested wisely in Ings, Buendia and Bailey, and they've still made a profit from that Grealish transfer, as they only spent 93 million on those 3 players. And yeah, I say finesse, and I use the word finesse because Jack Grealish in 2018, I think it was about to go to Tottenham for, I think, around 15, 20 million. And for him to come to the Premier League, and yes, he's made a big impact in the Prem and in England in the Euros, but his stats aren't great, and I think Grealish is a quality player, but for a player to get sold for 100 million with stats that in the Prem that aren't that great, it's a massive dub for Villa, and fair play to the Villa board for accepting 100 million and investing it wisely back into the team, and for those reasons, I think Villa have won the transfer window. West Ham have looked to strengthen their squad depth with signings such as Kurt Zuma, Alfonso Areola, Nikola Vlasic, and Alex Krul, and for those reasons, I think that they've had a decent window, and I look forward to seeing them in the Europa League. Leeds United have looked to sign Daniel James from Manchester United, as well as Junior Firpo from Barcelona. As well as this, has also confirmed the signing of Jack Harrison on a permanent deal from Manchester City. I think Leeds have had a pretty decent window in my opinion, and they'll look to improve on their season from last year. Now, I know I did say that Aston Villa were the winners of the transfer window, but I take that all back. I take that all back. Manchester United have won the transfer window. Their signings this summer have been insane. Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund, Rafael Varane from Real Madrid, and the main man, the most talked about man in football, the best player in the world, Tom Heaton from Aston Villa. No, I'm kidding. Cristiano Ronaldo from Juventus. That is insane. I can't wait to see Ronaldo in the Prem again, just as I think everyone else. Yeah, I think Man United, easy winners of this transfer window. I am looking forward to sitting down and watching a United game and watching Ronaldo in action, because that is crazy to think that he's in the Prem. Yeah, I think Manchester United win the transfer window this season, and good on them, splashing out the cash. Brighton have had a pretty average transfer window, and that's all I have to say about that. Boring. Southampton have lost Danny Ings, but they've managed to keep hold of James Ward-Prowse. That is a huge victory for them. They've also signed in Adam Armstrong, who's taken the Premier League by storm. He's scored a good goal in his first game, and he looks to be a crafty striker who uses pace and skill to get his goals, and he looks good for them. But I think they've had an average window, Southampton. Brentford, Norwich and Watford, the final three and the three promoted teams to the Premier League. Brentford have had a pretty average transfer window, not too much business for them. Norwich, on the other hand, have signed Milo Rashica from Werder Bremen, who looks to be a solid player, but I don't think he'll be enough to keep them up. I think Norwich will be fighting a relegation battle. And Watford, again, they've also had a pretty average transfer window themselves. So all three